CBS Evening News. Good night.
Good evening. I'm Bob Schieffer. They are still looking for victims of that powerful earthquake in Indonesia. Thousands may be dead. And we'll give you a first-hand look tonight at some of the damage. That's where we start. Then we'll have these stories. Please.
I'm Lee Cowan. A former Boy Scout leader is charged with downloading child pornography. We'll have what federal investigators are saying about it.
The stars of Hollywood and Nashville reach the Supreme Court. I'm Wyatt Andrews with the story of why they're there.
I'm Cheryl Atkinson. New research says you're not getting enough sleep, but is it just a tactic to sell you more drugs?
All the news is fit to print? Not exactly. I'm Jim Axelrod with a throwback paper and its old-fashioned staff.
This is the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer reporting from CBS News headquarters in New York.
For the islanders in western Indonesia, this is some kind of horrible replay just 3 months after the catastrophic earthquake and tsunami that killed hundreds of thousands. Families are digging out again. The powerful earthquake that struck last night brought down countless buildings on Nias Island, just south of the quake's epicenter. Barry Peterson is in the quake zone tonight.
From the air, the damage was spotty. In some areas, reports said up to 70% of the buildings collapsed. In other areas, many buildings and houses were untouched. Through the day, rescuers desperately tore through the rubble, hampered by a lack of electricity. Most efforts were makeshift, neighbors helping neighbors. And those who were saved faced uncertain medical care in remote hospitals without enough doctors or medicine to handle this kind of disaster. Also through the day, the occasional sounds of weeping as lifeless bodies were pulled from the debris, many killed as they slept when the quake hit just before midnight. Indonesia's government rapidly mobilized aid, a skill learned all too well after coping with the massive earthquake last December. There was another bitter lesson learned from the December quake, that early warning of a tsunami could have saved tens of thousands of lives. So this time, the word spread rapidly across the countries in the region. From cities to remote fishing villages, people were quickly told, run for your lives.
We quickly go and inform our people here beside near the seaside. We ask them to move up to the place.
There was no tsunami this time. And it's not over for the people of Nias Island or anyone in this region. The aftershocks continue. One today was 5.7 on the Richter scale. Aftershocks have a cruel way of causing buildings already damaged by earlier, stronger quakes to finally collapse. A cruel way to keep the death toll climbing. The sad fact is, until recently, there were a lot of international aid operations here in Indonesia helping after the December tsunami. But most of them have now gone home. So it's going to take a while before any massive aid operation can get back up and running. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Medan, Indonesia.
Indonesian relief officials say they are especially worried tonight about residents of a string of islands even closer to the quake's epicenter than Nias. Nothing has been heard so far from the 10,000 people on the Banyak Islands since the quake hit. Johnny Cochran died today. Cochran, of course, came to national attention as O.J. Simpson's lawyer and went on to become one of America's most well-known figures. John Blackstone's in our Los Angeles bureau tonight with the late details. John?
Bob, Johnny Cochran, of course, made that name for himself, brought himself to worldwide attention on the Dream Team, on O.J. Simpson's Dream Team, successfully defending Simpson against charges that he'd murdered his wife. Ironically, Cochran's law career began years before as a young prosecutor in the L.A. District Attorney's Office, but then he went into private practice. And in the Simpson case, observers said it was Cochran who was responsible for choosing the largely black jury and then playing to it. And who can forget Cochran having Simpson struggle to put on the bloody glove and then telling the jury, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Cochran kept his TV fame going, moving to New York, working for Court TV, and parlaying his name into a huge, lucrative, nationwide law practice. Now, last year, Cochran entered Cedars-Sinai Hospital here in Los Angeles for brain surgery. He never really recovered from that. He was 67 years old.
Thank you very much, John. A shocking story from Dallas tonight. A man who had been a ranking official at Boy Scout headquarters has been charged by federal authorities with downloading child pornography from the internet and distributing it. He'd been a Boy Scout employee for 39 years when the allegations surfaced. Lee Cowan is in Irving, Texas tonight with the latest. Lee?
Well, Bob, the question tonight is really just how far did this go? The man's name is Douglas Sovereign Smith. As he said, he worked for the Boy Scouts of America for almost 40 years as a program director. We understand he was nabbed under a U.S. Department of Justice investigation known as Operation Predator, and the charges against him specifically read that they accuse him of downloading and distributing child pornography sometime last month on or about February 22nd. Now, as we understand it, he did not actually use the computers in his offices at the Boy Scouts of America, but attorneys would not say whether any of the child pornography actually involved Boy Scouts or not. As for Mr. Smith, when reporters caught up with him late tonight, he not surprisingly had very little to say.
Are you Mr. Smith?
I am.
Mr. Smith, any comment?
You can call my attorney, Jack Strickland.
Now, he'll be arraigned on those charges of child pornography tomorrow, Bob, and he is expected to plead guilty.
And what has the Boy Scout organization said, Lee?
Well, they were shocked and dismayed, obviously, to say the least. They were very quick tonight to try to allay any fears of parents about Mr. Smith. They issued a statement a short while ago saying that Mr. Smith had no indication of any prior criminal activity, and he was not in a leadership position which involved working directly with youth. He has since retired from the Boy Scouts. The Boy Scouts put him on administrative leave a short time after this investigation began. But again, they say he was not in a position that he was working directly with the Scouts themselves.
The Scouts, of course, have had several high-profile issues here recently to deal with.
They have. There was the issue over the fact of them banning any folks that wanted to be Boy Scout leaders if they were openly gay. The court said that was okay. And there was also the issue of whether or not that they could use the word God in the Boy Scout oath. The courts upheld that as well, Bob. This one, though, seems to be a little darker next time they appear in court.
Thank you very much, Lee. The Supreme Court heard arguments today about something the justices' grandchildren may have tried, but they probably haven't. I certainly haven't, and that is using special software to share music over the internet. The music industry calls it stealing and says the companies that make the software should be liable for it. Wyatt Andrews is in Washington with that story.
One of Nashville's hottest stars, Sarah Evans' last 2 records have gone platinum. The video of her hit, Suds in the Bucket, is up for Video of the Year, and she's practicing for the debut of her new single.
What love really means.
But like most artists and writers, Evans is angry about computer software like Grokster and Morpheus, which allow internet users to copy songs or even movies without paying.
It's stealing, pure and simple. You don't have to go to the store and buy the album, you can just steal it.
Grokster and Morpheus are certainly simple.
Once you get the software, all you have to do is type in the name of the song or the movie you want, and anyone else on the network can send it to you as a computer file. So if I type in Sarah Evans' song, Suds in the Bucket,
She was in the backyard
and I can copy her song or her video for free.
Well, the song ain't free.
Which is why the studios from both Hollywood and Nashville pushed the case to the Supreme Court, accusing Morpheus of massive stealing. But Morpheus compared itself to the VCR, arguing you can't blame the equipment if people use it to steal.
What the users do with the software, once they have it, we have no control.
The justices also wondered if stopping computer file sharing would hurt innovation. Justice Breyer tweaked the studios, asking if they would have supported any copying technology. How about the Xerox, the VCR, the iPod? Yes, we would, said attorney Donald Verrilli. But with those products, there isn't overwhelming illegal use. The innovation issue is critical because Morpheus says in the future, artists will make more money by sharing their movies and music online.
The file sharing software folks say, look, this is the new distribution.
That doesn't change the fact that at the time, at the moment, they are stealing.
So the court will now resolve whether Morpheus is a vital high-tech piece of the new economy or some cleverly disguised theft. Wyatt Andrews, CBS News at the Supreme Court.
Iraq's new parliament tried again today to get itself organized, but what was supposed to be a debate turned into a shouting match. Religious and ethnic factions have been struggling to choose an assembly speaker. That's the first step toward establishing a permanent government, but they never came close to agreement again today. They'll try again next weekend. A panel that investigated corruption in the United Nations Oil for Food program in Iraq said today that Secretary General Kofi Annan was not at fault, but the report did call Annan's own one-day investigation inadequate. It said that Annan was deceived by his own son about payments the son got from a Swiss company that ran the program. And it said the Swiss firm made false statements about all this to the UN and to the public. Coming up next, many families face the same life and death questions as Terry Schieffer's family. How some have answered them is tonight's Inside Story. But first, CBS News honors fallen heroes, Joseph Fite. His family says he was a quiet man who dreamed his own dreams and followed his heart. It led him to the University of Texas, where he played trombone in the band, and to the Marine Corps. He was killed in Iraq when a vehicle crashed through his checkpoint. Fite's father says he was the bravest man I've ever known.
This allergy season, ask your doctor about something different. Singulair. While many seasonal allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair works differently by blocking leukotrienes, an underlying cause of seasonal allergy symptoms. And one prescription Singulair helps relieve a broad range of seasonal allergy symptoms for a full 24 hours. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age, and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat seasonal allergies.
Oh, hey, hi, I'm Digger. Don't mind me, I'm just a dermatophyte. You know, a nail infection. All I want is to get in here and live under your nail. You can't get me with clippers or the surface treatments you try on your own. I'm in too deep in your nail bed. I'll make myself comfortable, invite a few friends. Settle in.
Do you have thick, discolored, or flaky nails? Millions of people do. It may be caused by an active live infection. That's why you should ask your doctor about prescription-only Lamisil. Unlike surface treatments, Lamisil is a pill that works through the bloodstream to target and attack the infection at its source, underneath the nail. In fact, you can start to see clearer, healthier nails in just 3 months. Lamisil isn't for people with liver or kidney problems. In rare cases, serious side effects in the liver or serious skin reactions have occurred, so your doctor may do a simple blood test. Other side effects, including headache, diarrhea, indigestion, and rash, were generally mild. Ask your doctor about Lamisil. Once daily Lamisil tablets. Get your nail infection where it grows.
Who will call 911 when the airbags deploy?
Or tell us where we are when we're lost.
Who can tell us if the check engine light is something serious?
Or no big deal.
Who will unlock our car?
When we leave the keys in it.
Who can help the police track a carjacking with my little brother inside?
Someone should.
Someone should.
I am a strong person. I'm a happy person. I am a diabetic. And I test 6 times a day because this is my meter.
The AccuCheck Compact system takes the pain out of struggling with strips. You can also test on your palm. Switch to the AccuCheck Compact system.
So I put on this Thermacare heat wrap for knees. It heated up and it was all downhill from there. With less knee stiffness, less pain. Nice. Oh, and since the knee wrap can go anywhere I go, I'm gone.
The Reverend Jerry Falwell was reported in critical but stable condition today at a hospital in Virginia. Falwell is 71. He helped found the Moral Majority and has been a leading spokesman for the Christian right. He's had a relapse of pneumonia, apparently, his second bout with it in just over a month. Falwell is on a respirator to help him breathe. In Florida today, the Reverend Jesse Jackson prayed with the parents of Terry Schieffer. Jackson said he favors restoring her feeding tube. Schieffer is now in her 12th night without food or water. Of course, while her case has made headlines, many other families have been in similar situations and have found a way to resolve it without a national controversy. Mark Strassman has the inside story.
Right now, she's fighting this.
Like Terry Schieffer, Lisa Watson was in her 20s when a heart attack days after giving birth left her severely brain damaged. 2 years later, her husband agreed to give her parents custody.
But we have devoted solely our life to taking care of Lisa.
So for the last 15 years, Dorothy and Michael Braccato have fed Lisa, nurtured her, given her therapy. She's not the Lisa they remember, but they say they still have their daughter. And naturally, they follow the Schieffer drama through the prism of their own family crisis.
You try to do everything you can, and where there's life, there's hope, so.
To me, Terry could have had the same thing had she been given what my daughter had.
But Ron Oyster sees the Schieffer debate from a very different perspective.
That was our decision.
When Oyster's father was essentially brain dead, his son's wrenching decision was to let his father go.
How hard? Very hard decision. The hardest one I've ever made. That was my father, and he was in front of me, and I knew that he could never return to what he had been.
Oyster says Terry Schieffer's family is out of touch, and these protesters are out of line.
It's unfortunate that so many people wish to meddle in a very private affair.
And he says Schieffer's parents helped create this needless public spectacle because they refused to face their hard reality.
She died then, not now. And my own experience would say that one ends life at that time.
All right, sweetie.
Not the Braccatos. They believe Schieffer's parents deserve what they have and what Lisa has, a second chance.
I love her. I love her, and I couldn't picture not having her around me.
Every day, hundreds of families face the same life or death decision. Whatever their take on the Schieffer debate, it's more personal than most. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Pinellas Park, Florida.
And coming up next, are you getting enough rest? A new poll says that half of all American adults are having trouble sleeping. But guess who paid for the poll?
Is heartburn keeping you away from the foods you love? Come back to Mylanta Classic and eat what you like.
Hey, welcome back, Lou.
Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out.
Get soothing comfort on contact and that classic taste again. Mylanta Classic. Look for our coupon in this Sunday's newspaper.
Cholesterol. It comes buttered, battered, basted, and roasted. But it also comes from Mom, Dad, Grandma Rose, and Grandpa Joe. Your cholesterol doesn't just come from food. It also has a lot to do with family history. Ask your doctor about Vytorin. A healthy diet is important, but when it's not enough, adding Vytorin can help. Vytorin treats the two sources of cholesterol, food and what your body makes naturally based on family history. Vytorin lowers bad cholesterol 45 to 60%. Vytorin is not for everyone, including people with liver problems, women who are nursing, pregnant, or may become pregnant. Unexplained muscle pain or weakness could be a sign of a rare but serious side effect. Vytorin may interact with other medicines or certain foods, increasing your risk of getting this serious side effect. Simple blood tests are needed to check for liver problems. Continue to follow a healthy diet and ask your doctor about adding Vytorin. For the two sources of cholesterol, remember the name Vytorin. That's Vytorin.
Fix-It Control for the control you want, just where you need it. Life with more bite. Introducing new Fix-It Control. Its precision tip nozzle lets you put just the right amount, just where you want it. So no more corn without the cob. New Fix-It Control. Life with more bite.
For you, my sweet. I see you are overcome with love. Achoo! Or could it be congestion and other seasonal nasal allergy symptoms? Your congestion will not keep us apart.
Only Nasonex is clinically proven to both treat and help prevent most seasonal nasal allergy symptoms, including congestion. Side effects were generally mild and included headache, viral infection, sore throat, nosebleeds, and coughing.
Love means never having to say you are congested.
To treat and help prevent most seasonal nasal allergy symptoms, Nasonex is the one. Talk to your doctor.
If you have trouble sleeping, you have a lot of company. Millions of other Americans have sleep problems too, according to a nationwide survey out today. But the question is, who paid for the poll? Cheryl Atkinson has our report.
They're not just sleepless in Seattle, says the new poll. Half the nation is tossing and turning at night, too sleepy for sex, nodding off at the wheel, falling down on the job. Half of adults report frequent insomnia. 77% say their partner has a sleep problem, with snoring the most common complaint. The poll's conclusion, the nation is in crisis. In fact, there's an epidemic, and more people should be discussing their sleep problems with their doctor. But before you're convinced we've become a nation of walking zombies, you might want to consider what we found when we checked into who funds the National Sleep Foundation, which put out the poll. Companies that make, you guessed it, sleeping pills and other insomnia remedies. The National Sleep Foundation wouldn't tell us how much money it actually gets from drug companies, like the makers of Ambien.
To help you sleep, there's Ambien.
But the foundation points out it doesn't endorse any specific product. Consumer watchdog Dr. Sidney Wolf says it still serves the same purpose.
So, although they're not saying you should be on a sleeping pill, they're saying go to the doctor, and that doctor will sell you sleeping pills in a large proportion of instances.
Even if it's not what the patient really needs, argues Wolf. Noted sleep doctor Mayor Krieger volunteers for the National Sleep Foundation. Does it hurt the credibility of the poll that the foundation is heavily funded by the pharmaceutical industry?
I guess it might in some people's mind. In my own mind, I'm prepared to volunteer a great deal of my time because the foundation has done a lot of things that have absolutely nothing to do with the pharmaceutical industry.
Whether America's sleepiness is a real epidemic or just a pipe dream of the drug industry, there's little doubt that we could all benefit from a good night's rest. As for what is a good night's rest, some experts say 7 to 9 hours, but many do well on less. Bob?
Thanks, Cheryl. Still to come, getting the scoop. The biggest little newspaper you'd never heard of is celebrating a milestone in tonight's Eye on America.
The CBS Evening News and tonight's Eye on America segment are sponsored by Advil, strong, trusted pain relief.
With all the recent news on prescription pain relievers, you may be asking what's right for you. Talk to your doctor and ask about Advil. The fact is, no other over-the-counter pain reliever has been proven stronger or to last longer on tough pain than Advil. Not Tylenol, not Aleve. Advil has been trusted by millions for over 20 years. Ask your doctor if the strong, trusted pain relief of Advil is right for your kind of pain.
Two dogs with fleas. One calls his vet for Frontline Plus. The other gets the number 2 product. Both claim to be long-lasting, but over half the dogs treated with the number 2 product had fleas after just 1 week. The Frontline dogs? Not one flea. Frontline is the one that's waterproof and kills fleas fast all month long. So ask for the vet's number 1 choice, Frontline Plus, and say goodbye to fleas and ticks.
Denture wearers, we stained a string of pearls in barbecue sauce, not just to prove the stain-removing strength of Efferdent Plus or the freshening power of its Listerine ingredients, but to give every denture wearer the confidence to show those pearly whites. The confident clean of Efferdent Plus.
Concerned about bad breath? Listerine Pocket Packs dissolve in seconds, killing bad breath germs to freshen your breath instantly. Listerine Pocket Pack strips. Now try less intense fresh citrus.
Ready to make the move to Levitra for a strong, lasting experience? Ask your doctor if Levitra is right for you. Levitra is what many men with ED count on to improve their erectile quality. Strong and lasting when he wants it. It's what Levitra is all about.
Levitra is only for men healthy enough for sexual activity. Do not take Levitra if you take nitrates for chest pains or alpha blockers for prostate problems or high blood pressure, as this may cause an unsafe drop in blood pressure. Side effects may include headache, flushing, and stuffy or runny nose. In the rare case an erection lasts for more than 4 hours, seek immediate medical attention.
Strong, lasting. Experience Levitra for yourself. If you're on another ED treatment, maybe it's time to try Levitra. Ask your doctor about a free sample.
Its faster formula knocks out weeds in 12 hours. The leading imitator doesn't. Now improved Roundup Plus knocks out weeds in 12 hours.
My doctor said I needed fiber, but Metamucil is thick and gritty. My doctor said I should take Benefiber. Benefiber has just as much fiber and never gets thick or gritty. Ask your doctor about Benefiber. For me, the choice is clear.
Tomorrow, tempers flare, tensions rise, and a terrible accident. With all these roadblocks, which team can't keep up? The next Amazing Race cast-offs tell you what really happened on The Early Show.
When Ken applied to Medicaid to pay for his wife's long-term care, he got a nasty jolt. The state wanted most of his IRA, too.
If I have to live under a bridge after Barbara's gone, then I'll have to deal with that.
Tomorrow, when your retirement savings aren't your own, could it happen to you? Eye on America on the CBS Evening News with Bob Schieffer.
Journalism has gone high-tech, satellites, computers, fancy graphics, but we found a place in the middle of America where the craft is still practiced in its most basic, no-frills form. Jim Axelrod has the scoop in tonight's Eye on America.
How's that feel? Is that too warm?
Back here, behind Deanne's beauty shop, you'll hear the old-fashioned sounds.
Cheryl, this is Elaine calling from the scoop.
Of old-fashioned communication.
You have news this morning?
From some old-fashioned folks.
Do you ever feel kind of, oh, I don't know, nosy?
I didn't think of it that way, but I probably am. That's my job.
Welcome to Lost Nation, Iowa. Yup, that's the name. I couldn't make that up. And meet the all-volunteer staff of The Scoop.
Bringing her news in.
A community newspaper.
There's The Scoop, like that.
About to publish its 1,000th issue.
These aren't coded.
Not all news is a non-stop, satellite-driven, globe-shrinking proposition. There are still places where media
There, corrected.
means cutting, gluing, pasting, and trying to figure out those newfangled machines.
It won't start.
Smith, Corona, and Whiteout. And just a hint of high tech.
Why do you get the computer?
Well, I've been here longer than the one in the bush.
Lost Nation, Iowa is one of those places where you could take a nap in the middle of Main Street and never worry once about getting hit by a car. One of those small rural communities where everyone knows everything about everybody. So what's left to read?
There could be somebody over in this end of town that doesn't see this person over in this end of town, and that's 4 whole blocks.
But even though it's called The Scoop, it's not exactly juicy.
No controversy?
No controversy.
No scandal?
No scandal.
All 400 locals get their copy free.
Lions fish fry.
Advertisements and out-of-town subscribers pay the freight.
I've learned who's gotten married. I've learned who has passed on.
Marlene Dodderwick left Lost Nation in 1966, but wouldn't dream of life without The Scoop.
Don't want to be left out of the loop, you know.
Not even 39 years later.
No, exactly.
So at a time when reporters aren't always the most popular guys in town,
Virgil?
a reminder of the power of the press.
It's a fellowship of everybody in the town, really, together. I mean, it holds us together, really, I think it does.
Everything from The Scoop. The power of the press. And its possibilities as well.
Cindy, I have scoops for you.
In Lost Nation, Iowa, I'm Jim Axelrod for Eye on America.
Have a good day.
Hey, ours is free, too. I'm Bob Schieffer. Good night.
For news 24 hours a day, click on CBSNews.com. Brought to you in part by Walmart. The Walmart price, saving you money on the things you need every day. Think your IRA is yours alone? Think again. Eye on America, tomorrow. Experience CBS News.
In just 14 years, Rooms to Go has become America's largest furniture company. And we're in just 6 states.
Changing the way America buys furniture. And for our anniversary, we've pushed our vendors to give us price breaks on some of our best-selling items.
Special buys in every department on all your favorite styles, colors, fabrics, furniture for every room, every decor.
And now you can get delivery tomorrow, thanks to America's largest furniture inventory.
During the Rooms to Go 14th anniversary.
Don't miss it.
Watch the Fantasy 5 drawing weeknights on CBS 4 News at 11, your lottery station.